Well, hey, we're back from our weekend at the Oregon coast, and the weatherman says that there is a cold snap coming. So we're going to drain that hot water tank and hit our low point drain plugs, which brought up a really good idea. Why not share some of our biggest mistakes with you? And that's coming right up. Hey, welcome back to the Happy Place Diaries. I am Jerry, and first of all, I just want to thank everybody for coming along and watching our videos. Watching all the way to the end. That's a great help for our channel. And not only that, but we think we're providing, decent content. And if we're not, please let us know what we can do better. Go ahead and leave those comments. We answer every single comment. If this is your first time with us, we hope you find value in our videos, and we hope you stick around and hit that subscribe button and that little bell. It'll notify you when our next video is coming out. Hey, if you're returning to the channel, hey, thanks again. We really appreciate all of our subscribers. So let's jump right in. This time we are talking about our 5 biggest mistakes, and actually you just saw a bonus mistake, and it was very costly. And so we thought, we got to drain that hot water tank. Our very first winter in the trailer, we failed to drain the hot water tank. A cold snap came ripping through, and it wasn't what we thought was really that cold. And if you've watched our previous videos, we know that we don't really winterize our trailer like most people winterize, because we use our trailer all year long. So we don't typically, run antifreeze through everything. That, and you probably shouldn't put antifreeze through your hot tank anyway. But anyway, we did not empty out our hot water tank, and as a result, it froze. It cracked the entire tank in half, and $900 later, we got a new tank. Now, we've only had to replace it once because we learned. So these are 5 mistakes that we've made and we've learned from. So let's jump right in, and we're going to go counting down to what we think is the biggest mistake that we made. All right, number 1 is dropping the trailer on the tongue. We were out at Cape Lookout State Park, and our tongue jack wasn't working properly the camp out before. And I thought, well, we could probably get by with one more outing with that electric tongue jack. And we got out to the campground. The tongue jack went down so that we could get the truck off the trailer, or the trailer off the truck. And somewhere in that process, it completely died on us. And in the process of me trying to get the truck off of the trailer, the entire trailer shifted. I thought I was chalked right. Trailer shifted and fell. Luckily, it fell on the tongue, and so the frame didn't hit the ground anyway. It turned out to be a $65 mistake, but it could have been a lot worse. It could have hurt somebody, namely me. So great big mistake. So that was number 5, dropping the trailer on the tongue. All right, mistake number 4 was we did not inspect and clear the slide out before we brought it in one time. And everything went in okay, no bumping, no scratching, no loud, weird noises. We got the trailer home, we backed it in to where we store it, and I came out to grab something out of the trailer, and lo and behold, we had a waterfall flowing down into our dinette. So I immediately grabbed towels and whatnot. I pushed the slide out, and I found that a little stick about that big and about that round had got into the gasket of the slide out as we brought it in, it just opened that up. We were at home. It was a major rainstorm, and rain just came pouring in. Once again, no harm, no real foul, or no real harm, no real foul. Got the stick out of there. But it did end up costing us, because we ended up putting a slide topper on the slide. And boy, am I glad we did. Because now we really don't have to worry about that kind of stuff happening. Although, I check that slide out every single time now. We didn't sustain water damage, which I don't, by the grace of God, don't know how that happened. But I did get to it right away. Got the shop back out here and got the carpet dried out. We put heaters all over the carpeting and the walls, and so we didn't sustain any water damage. But that one could have been a lot worse, and that could have cost me a lot more money than just putting a slide topper on. So that was mistake number 4. Okay, mistake number 3 in our countdown was breaking the stabilizer jack. And that is just a classic case of not knowing where I was backing into. We were out at Sea and Sand, our second trip out there. We had a straight in back. I pulled in and I was backing straight up into our site. Now our site was on an incline like this, and then it leveled out. And my brother-in-law was kind of guiding me in, kind of not. And all of a sudden I heard him yelling, "Stop, stop." And my back right stabilizer jack, or the passenger side stabilizer jack, had hit the ground and was bending in like this. Again, it could have been a lot worse. The stabilizer jack continued to work for that weekend. It didn't snap off. It just bent it really bad. And it could have been a lot more costly. Now, what I did do, kind of like the slide topper issue, what I did do was invest in some better stabilizer jacks. And so I got the Easy Lift 5,000 pound rated stabilizer jacks. So I put 4 5,000 pound stabilizer jacks on all the corners. And your stabilizer jacks are not meant to raise and lower your trailer. They're just meant to stabilize. But when you put a 5,000 pound jack on there, you can crank it a little bit and the trailer is a lot more stable. But it was the result of a big mistake of me not getting out and checking the clearance, and me not listening to the people around me when I was backing up. I just kind of kept going, and it did. It bent at about a 45-degree angle, and it wasn't pretty. But it cost me, with the replacement of jacks and whatnot. It was a mistake that I definitely wish I would not have made. But that's mistake number 3, bending the stabilizer jack and having to pay for it. Okay, mistake number 2, which really didn't cost me a thing, but mistake number 2 was not clearing the slide outs. Before you push the slide out, you need to check and make sure that there's nothing. In fact, this corner right here, this beam right there, didn't get cleared. And there was something tucked in behind there. And so when we pushed the slide out, we got about halfway out and we started hearing a crunching noise. Crunching noises are never good in RVs. I'm just saying. But we started hearing a crunching noise. We stopped what we were doing. And sure enough, there was a dog bone that one of the dogs had kind of hid back there when we were camping. When you pulled the slide out in, no harm, no foul, because it was moving away from the bone. But then as we traveled, the bone jostled around and turned. And what it did was it popped this panel right here just off. And those of you have an RV, if you have a slide out, you know that they just, tack those things in place. And so the wood trim separated from the wall. Again, no real harm done, but it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. And all I did was take the tack hammer and pop everything back in place, and everything worked out okay. But a big mistake, and it became part of our routine, that now we always check the clearances on both sides of the slide out, both outside and inside, before we move the slide out in or out. So always check those slide outs. Big mistake. Okay, let's get to number one, and it's a doozy, folks. All right, number one, numero uno, eins, the big mistake, the absolute biggest mistake I have ever made with this trailer: hitting a UPS truck. Yes, that's right. I said hitting a UPS truck. So we had just driven 5 hours. We came back from Leavenworth, Washington, and we pulled into our neighborhood, and I was setting up to back into the space where we keep the trailer. And here comes the UPS truck. Now, this is before I retired from UPS, so I knew the driver of the truck. So I thought, well, I'm going to pull up and say hello. So he pulled over, and I pulled up next to him. Now, I still got the trailer hooked up. I pulled up next to him. We talked for about 5 minutes. And I said, hey, I tell you what, you're in a rush. I'm not. I will get around you. You can keep going. I'll make a loop around the block, and I'll reset my back to get into the slot. Well, guess what? We got so into talking that I kind of forgot the trailer was back there. And not so much forgot, but I didn't think about my clearance, and I didn't think about the swing that I needed to do to get around that UPS truck. And so I cleared this front bumper, I cleared the sides, and then I hit his back bumper, and scratched the entire side of the trailer, my trailer. No harm to the UPS truck, but yep, a great big eyesore. Now, we've cleaned it up, and we're actually going to do some body work. Right now, you can't really tell, but I could tell. And we're going to do a little bit of body work this summer when it gets a little bit warmer. But yeah, that's right. My biggest mistake was not knowing my surroundings, not knowing the clearance I needed around the trailer, and I hit the UPS truck. Hey, I'll never do that one again. That's for sure. Hey, so that's our 5 biggest mistakes. And when I say our, I mean my 5 biggest mistakes with our trailer. Hey, not too bad. Now, there's been more, but most of them are, little teeny things that, hey, we all do. Let me know what your mistakes are. Go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section below, and we'll all have a good chuckle about it. Hey, most of them don't turn out to be anything catastrophic. If you have had a catastrophic one, I really, really want to know, though. So drop that in the comment section below. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. More importantly, leave us a comment, hit that thumbs up, and watch the video all the way to the end. Because, that's what it's all about. Hey, I watch yours all the way to the end. Watch mine. If you're interested, another video is going to pop up right here. A little thing to subscribe is going to pop up right over there. And we really appreciate you coming along with us. And we'll see you in the next one.